No, I'm going to talk for a little bit, if that's okay.
I understand.
The white stone ceremony. So the white stone ceremony is so powerful because it's about claiming your spiritual intention, your spiritual trait that you want to embody this year. It's not just about a name on a stone, a word on a stone. It's about what do I want to claim for myself as my spiritual identity in this year. It's about answering the questions, what do I want to be? We are human beings, but what do I want to be? What do I want to express? I can keep expressing myself as is, or I can express a new me, a new identity for myself. So we'll be asking your intuitive self, your higher self, to answer these questions in just a moment. And this year I wanted to add a little something special. You see this bowl up here. So I thought together, Unity of the Oaks can choose a spiritual name, a spiritual attribute, so that together we set the foundation for the church for 2024. So these stones will create a visual for all of you throughout the year, a reminder of the strong foundation that this church is, built on prayer, built on community, and built on spiritual intention. That this is what makes this community. So, that will be in a moment. But historically, for those of you who don't know, historically, the white stone ceremony was created for the beginning of the year, because usually we do think the beginning of the year being a clean slate, starting new, having goals, having dreams. And the white stone ceremony, having that write a new name for ourselves, meaning here is my intention for how I want to show up in my spiritual attribute. This is how I will show up for this year. So during the time that Jesus was teaching, if someone was in prison, once they served their prison time and they were released, they were given a white stone. They were given a white stone when they were released from prison. And the stones that you were given, hopefully everyone got 2 stones today. The stones that you were given were actually quarried from Bethlehem. But they're also a symbol of your own personal freedom. In this moment, you are free. It is the reminder that in this moment, you are free. The ceremony itself is inspired by Revelations chapter 2, verse 17 here on the screen. Let anyone who has an ear listen to what Spirit is saying to the churches. Now, in Unity, we'd say that ear is the ear of listening to your own soul, listening to your inner voice. What our co-founder in Unity, Myrtle Fillmore, would call that still small voice. Have that ear to listen to that still small voice, the calling within. And the church being your own sacred body, your own sacred self. So here's my interpretation of this on the next slide, that by letting yourself be free, by listening to your own, you let yourself be free by listening to your own inner sacred voice. Yeah? You can let yourself be free by listening to your own inner sacred voice. That this is the message from that passage in Revelations. This is what the white stone ceremony is all about. It's that voice of God within. It's the voice of the divine wisdom that you are. Let it speak to you. Let that divine wisdom that is in you, a part of you, let it speak to you. Let it be heard. It is calling out your name, and it wants to be heard. So listening to the inner voice. So this is where I will pause, because I'm going to just put a disclaimer that sometimes when you listen to that inner voice, it can change your entire life around. A year ago, we had our big kickoff grand opening of this space here on Lombard Street. We had a soft opening on that Christmas Eve, but then our big kickoff was last year, exactly a year ago, January 8th, actually, of 2023, and it was our White Stone ceremony. And I had no idea and would have not believed you if you said, a year from now, Stacy, you will be saying goodbye to your beloved community. But Spirit works in mysterious ways. So there's been times in my life that I've heard that internal voice of Spirit of God within, and sometimes it's hard to listen to it. I think I've told this story before, that when I was in my 20s and it was just Juan and I had quit a real stressful job at a large university. We won't say the name of that university, but it had been a very stressful job. So I had left it and I had spent time just meditating. I had the pleasure of just spending a lot of time in meditation. And I remember at one point saying, God, here I am. What will you have me do? And I heard a voice say, have a baby. And I said, I don't think you heard me, God. I said, I will do anything for you. And I heard the voice say, have a baby. Well, Juan was out of town, and I was picking him up at Burbank Airport, and Juan's the numbers guy. So I thought, he'll say we don't have money for this. So I pick him up, and I say, guess what I heard in meditation? Weirdest thing, have a baby. And he said, well, I guess we have to have a baby then. And I was like, you were supposed to say no. And he said, but Stacy, your intuition is always on. So when the offer to join Unity of Phoenix Spiritual Center came to me, it was over 2 months of hearing what I did not want to hear. Let go. Release. Your time here is complete. And I heard, I was just telling Sherry Hersey, it'll just be 6 weeks of crying, everybody. But I heard this voice in so many ways. In meditation. I know many of you know I do meditative journaling. Dear love, what would you have me hear today? Dear love, what do I need to know today? In writing after writing, and meditation, and then at a stoplight twice, hearing a voice saying, your time here is complete. Here's where I need you now. There was a time I was at my desk working. I have a beautiful window in front of my home office, and suddenly this feeling came over me, and I could see our home. We're only the third family that's lived there for over 18 years. The family before us lived there 24 years with 4 kids, and suddenly I saw them, and I saw these hands, and it was Spirit saying, they turned this house over to you and your family to make beautiful memories, and you have. And now it's time to turn your house over to another family so that they too can make beautiful memories. And then the next thing I saw was this space right here, and the hand saying, and it's time to turn over this to someone to make beautiful memories. It was clear, and I felt it. I felt this breeze, and I could see this breeze of Spirit blowing me to the desert, but also Spirit blowing and bringing in someone here, knowing it was going to be fast, knowing it was going to be easy, and it has been with Reverend Sherry Hersey picking up. Do you see the blow of Spirit here and the bringing in of Spirit here? And yet, hearing the voice, that voice that is our voice and yet isn't our voice, it can be scary. It means change. It means change in us. It means change around us. It means change in and around us. It means letting go. So oftentimes we resist that intuitive voice, that gut feeling, because our ego self, and that's not a bad thing, but it's our humanness, wants to keep us safe because we know what we know and we don't know what we don't know. And yet, once we hear the voice, the internal calling, the voice of divine love, you can't unhear it. Because you know your soul is speaking to you. And your soul is connected to the one power and one presence of the universe. You are an extension and part of that. And so once you hear it, you know you're in the divine dance of the unfolding. And that intuitive knowing doesn't work for just one of us, me, or just myself and Reverend Sherry Hersey. It doesn't work just for us. It works for all of us. It works for all of us. And in this time in history, it is time for each and every one of us to be spiritual leaders in the world. To bring light to wherever we go. I have heard from so many spiritual teachers and intuitives that 2024 is about deconstruction and reconstruction, breaking down and rebuilding. But the message that each of them have, and I will echo, is that for those of us who can hold on to the higher vibration of Christ consciousness, to hold prayer consciousness, that we are being called to recalibrate our hearts on a daily basis. One heart, one prayer, one thought, one action at a time, but daily. So when God, when Spirit, when intuitive guidance says, go there, I need you there now. Or step up, it's time for you to lead now. You know there's a plan. You know there's a divine order that the universe is singing. There's a movement, again, of the sailing of the ship to the desert. It's a sand ship. And a plan for a new ship to come in. And so this intuitive knowing of what is yours to do. What is yours to do? Especially now as we start 2024, it's possible for each one of us to know that. Because each one of us right now is being called in this time and moment to be spirit in the world. To express our divine nature like we've never expressed it before. That is what these times are calling. For each of us to step into our divinity. So again, you may think you know what your word is for this year, your spiritual attribute, your word of inspiration that you want to write on that stone, but I'm going to say be open to listening. Now I don't even come thinking I have a word, because there's been so many times in the past where I thought, I know my word. I know exactly what my word is. And then, I think I told you a couple of years ago, I was in meditation, like I'm going to lead all of us in just a moment. And all of a sudden I heard the word patience. And I thought, well, I have no patience for patience. I don't want patience to be my word. Oh, patience. Yeah. So while in meditation, your higher power, your divine nature, your intuitive knowing, let it tell you how you are needed this year. Let it tell you how you are needed this year. Are you needed as peace? Are you needed as balance? Are you needed as harmony? Are you needed as teacher or wisdom? Maybe as a leader. Maybe as love itself. You can also gain inspiration from our wall here of our 12 spiritual attributes. But whatever comes to you, allow your intuition, your soul, to speak it to you. So have your stone and pen just ready on your lap, and you have a second stone. You can just set that to the side right now as we prepare for our meditation, for our ceremony. So we'll start some instrumentals now as we quiet our minds. And everyone has a pen and stone. If you don't, just raise your hand and Linz can get that to you. Otherwise, we're just going to quiet our minds. Take a breath. And relax into knowing that you know at a deep, divine level within yourself who you truly are. As you breathe in through your heart and out through your heart. Feel the presence of the divine. Feel the presence of divine love opening space within you to receive. Allowing divine love to open a space within you to receive. I am ready. I'm ready to receive. And then opening yourself even more to receiving. And then listening. What attribute does Spirit, the universe, need me to embody this year? What will my spiritual name and my spiritual nature be for me to express in 2024? And so quieting your mind, opening your heart, even wider, even deeper, and just listening. Listening. What does God, what does Spirit need me to embody this year? What is my spiritual name and nature for me to express this year? I get quiet and I listen. And when that word comes to you, you can write it on your stone. And it's okay if it doesn't come right away. Just sit and listen. And if nothing comes, know that you can go back home and sit in quiet also. But if something has come, you write it on the stone, and taking a moment to sit and really allow yourself to see yourself as that quality. Allow yourself to feel yourself as that quality. See that word written across your heart. Feel it wrapped around you like a blanket. See it as your foundation from which you stand. And we stay in this meditative essence feeling as we sing together, "Something's Calling Me."
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been. before. Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feel like I'm walking on marble. I can't steal the earth beneath my feet. Is my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling? I can feel my heart begin to pound. Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before.
So closing our time in this part of our meditation in Whitestone Ceremony with gratitude. Gratitude for what Spirit has shown to you that needs to be done by you and you alone. And now we're going to take the spiritual expression that's been revealed to you and we're going to go within again. And as you turn within a second time, I want you to gently ask your heart, what is the word that Spirit wants for the foundation of Unity of the Oaks? What spiritual name, what word of inspiration, what quality does Spirit want for the foundation of this church in 2024? Just sitting with that, opening yourself up to that word, and when you're ready, write the word on a stone and bring it up and place it in the bowl here.
Long dark night, my soul it wanders. Can't see the light that moves me. God is everything and everywhere that I belong. Spirit gently wakes me from my sleep. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Deeper than I've ever been before. is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Peace keeps calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. God is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been before.
So here is your visual. That together you have set the intention, this vibration for this church as a community. That these are the intentions in this moment for this year ahead. That there is strength and there is a foundation here. And may this strength and foundation and community and these intentions be felt by the larger, wider community of the Conejo Valley, Ventura County. Yes. And for yourself, looking at your own white stone again, let it remind you of your inner freedom from limiting thoughts, limiting behaviors that no longer support you and your new I am name. Let your white stone remind you of who you are and what your spiritual identity is in 2024. Let's claim it together. Here we have a slide for our affirmation. So you're going to say God is, and you'll fill that in. Therefore I am. I embody and express. You're going to fill in your word, okay? Together. God is creative. Therefore I am creative. I embody and express creativity. Let's say it again. God is creative. Therefore I am creative. I embody and express creativity. Yes, it's true, because you are the divine expressing on earth, and you, like the disciple Peter, stand on a rock of faith. And sometimes when the earth feels like it's shaking, when your faith starts to feel a little shaken up, you can pick up your rock, you can look at your word, you can breathe it in, because it picked you. Your word picked you. You don't need to know the how, the when, or the why. You only need to listen. And let yourself embody that which Spirit needs you to be in this new year in 2024. So I encourage you to step into your new you with faith, with confidence, and knowing all is well. Because, friends, all is well. So blessings for this beautiful new year. Happy New Year. Amen.